Have you ever felt like you were being pulled in a million directions, constantly giving but never receiving? That's exactly what happened to Ava. But one unexpected day changed everything. Ava had always been the one people relied on. Friends, family, co-workers, everyone seemed to have her number on speed dial for favors. Her ability to step in during a crisis was admirable, but it came with a price. Her typical day was packed from morning to night. Early morning runs to help her elderly neighbor with groceries, afternoons filled with extra work assignments, and evenings spent managing last-minute social obligations. But the real problem? Ava never said no. She told herself that it was good to be needed, that helping people made her valuable. But deep down, she wondered if anyone truly saw her beyond what she could offer. It all came to a head on a rainy Friday evening. Ava had just returned home after covering a coworker who bailed on their shift. Her shoes were soaked and her stomach growled, reminding her she hadn't eaten since breakfast. As she unlocked her front door, her phone vibrated on the verge of falling off the kitchen counter. "Hey Ava, could you swing by and help me organize the kids' birthday party tomorrow? It's kind of last minute, but I know you'll come through." She sighed. A second text pinged. "Need your advice on my project ASAP. Call me." Her neighbor's voice came from next door. "Ava, could you help me move this shelf real quick?" It felt like the world was closing in on her. Ava sat down at her kitchen table, her hair dripping from the rain, and stared blankly at her phone. The messages piled up, each one tugging her in a different direction. That's when it hit her. Why did everyone think her time was endless? Was she invisible as a person unless she was helping someone else? For the first time in years, Ava allowed herself to sit with that question. The next morning, instead of waking up early to fulfill someone else's request, Ava did something radical. She turned off her phone. She made herself a full breakfast, poured a second cup of coffee, and opened that novel she'd been meaning to read for months. At first, the guilt was bothering her. What if her friends were upset? What if her neighbor felt abandoned? But as the hours passed, peace settled over her like a warm blanket. For the first time in ages, Ava wasn't racing against the clock or trying to meet anyone's expectations. She was simply being, and it felt good. By the afternoon, she picked up her phone and saw a flood of messages. Her heart raced, but then she paused. She remembered how it felt to have a quiet mind and a day that belonged to her. Ava made a decision right then and there. She would no longer be everyone's default savior. One by one, she responded to the messages. "Sorry, I can't make it to the party. Hope it goes well. I'm unavailable for the project today. Hey, I need to take care of some personal things. Maybe next time." Each message was like lifting a weight off her shoulders. She braced herself for backlash, but instead, something surprising happened. Most people respected her boundaries. Some even apologized for taking her for granted. That night, Ava sat on her porch, watching the stars flicker in the sky. Her life didn't change overnight, but something inside her had shifted permanently. She had learned to listen to her own voice, even when the world around her was noisy. Sometimes, choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. Ava learned that the hard way, but now she's stronger for it. Have you ever struggled with saying no? Share your story in the comments, and let's encourage each other to embrace our self-worth. Together, let's move from doubt to power, one story at a time.